It's time to step up my game with the two-door Bronco.
Buckle up, Buttercup!
The Big Bend is getting some love today and not Buttercup, but don't worry, we have mods coming for her. If you missed my last video explaining what the deal is, what the heck is going on, KRISTA? You have a Big Bend two-door now? You can check out that video. I'll post that above. But this is the basis of the Big Bends you could ever possibly get. And that means you have this nasty, gross-looking pinch weld. Ugh. There are a couple of ways to relieve your eyes of this eyesore, and that is pinch weld covers. But we're doing something much better than pinch weld covers today. We are going to be talking about steps. So I have lined up 3 different kinds of steps plus rock rails to kind of give you options for the two-door. These are all the Buckle Up branded steps, and I'll even show you another step option that's available for 4-door right now, but not 2-door. So let's show you that one. I'm not going to go super in-depth for 4-door options right now. I'm actually going to do a separate video because there are so many different options for the 4-door. But one of the options that are very popular are the Gallop full-length steps. These are the quick release steps, but don't worry, we do have options very similar to this for the 2-door. My plan for the 2-door is to add rock rails. These are the Buckle Up off-road rock rails. So I'm going to put those on, and then I'm going to use a quick release style step. Now, I don't know exactly which one I'm going to stick with. These are the mini Gallops, so they're very similar to the one that's on my 4-door. They're just a smaller version, and I'm thinking these are probably the way I'm going to go. Number one, it's a little different, but since there's not 4 doors, there's really no reason to have a really long step, but these do look really awesome on the Bronco, so I just want to see them all on before I make a final decision, but I do want a quick release option. These are really nice if you decide to go off-road because you can easily take them off, put them back on, so you can use your rock rails, slide around, not worrying about damaging your steps. Another cool thing about these miniature ones is you can take them off and put them in the trunk if you forgot to take them off, before leaving to go to the off-road park. You can also do these for the 4-door because you can get 4 sets of these. So just another fun fact. So we're going to start off with doing the BoltOn Raptor steps. These steps are very similar looks-wise to the quick release. There's just one difference, and that is they're going to bolt onto the Bronco. So these are the Raptor-style looking steps, very similar to what you would find on the Bronco Raptor. But rock rails are not needed for these. So if you have a Bronco similar to this one, you don't need to buy rock rails. These are not a quick release option. The bolt-on steps come with all the hardware and mounting needed to mount the step to the Bronco. So we're going to start off with the bolt-on option. Let's get started. I have everything laid out, the step, the mount, the hardware, the tools. This is going to be super easy. The installation is done. Let's take a closer look, and then we're going to get some measurements. I have had customers reach out to me asking me for the measurements of the drop from like the door line, so I'm going to include that in this video. So you can see here, you got plenty of space, but I'm going to open up the door so we can get a real accurate reading. I'm going to measure from the bottom right here to the drop so you can kind of get an idea of how much of a drop you get, and we're going to go with about 4 inches. I'm not going to measure from the ground up just because every Bronco is going to be different, whether you have a Sasquatch package, your own lift, different wheels, tires, and even different trim levels. But this will give you a 4-inch drop, which will make it easier to get in and out of your Bronco. I got this all put on just in time to take it off. I'm going to take off this whole bolt-on step and then put on the rock rails, and then we're going to check out the 2 different steps that go onto the rock rails. I did pull into the garage. These 100-degree days are really starting to get to me, this Florida heat, and I'm sweating so bad. Okay, we got the old step off and the rock rail installed. I'm really impressed because the rock rail looks like an OEM rock rail, except it's way cheaper than the OEM rock rail, and that's cheaper in price, not quality. I'm going to show you just a quick comparison of this rock rail to the OEM rock rail on my Bronco. I don't want to take my step off or anything, but if the camera guy gets a little closer, you can tell that the design is the exact same. It sits the same way. It feels pretty close to the same. I'm really happy with the styling, the looks of it, the quality of it. And I forgot to mention, if any of these steps don't tickle your fancy, I have so many other steps available on the website because I do carry other brands. Obviously, I'm super biased to the Buckle Up brand because, I wonder why. But BuckleUpOffroad.com is your one-stop shop for all of your Bronco needs. I guarantee you can find it there, and if you can't, shoot me an email and I'll see if I can get it on. The next set of steps that I'm going to put on is the Raptor quick release step. Now this is a full length step, but it's quick release. So you can see here these little hooks, those are going to attach to the rock rail. So instead of bolting them onto the Bronco itself, they're just going to kind of hook on just like this onto the rock rail, and then the hardware goes right down here and attaches it to the rock rail. There's no holes or anything in the rock rail, it's more pressure fitted, and that goes with pretty much all of these quick release steps, just like the one I have on my Bronco. That tightened up. Now it's time to measure. Now, just looking at these steps, they do appear to sit a little lower than the other steps we had on, but there's of course only one way to find out, and that is to measure it. Now these stick out a little bit further because they're on the rock rail, not on the Bronco. So we're gonna measure the best that we can. And man, it's almost like 5 inches, but I'm gonna say maybe 4 5/8 just to be on the safe side. So if your Bronco's higher and you want a step that's a little lower, this is probably the best option. This is great if you already have rock rails. You don't have to purchase rock rails, but you would need to purchase rock rails if you don't have them on your Bronco already. And then the best part is if you decide to go off-road, you can easily take these things off and leave them at home and not worry about damaging them. On to the next. This one is even an easier install. Wow, that was easy. I think that this is the one that I'm going to keep on it just because it's a smaller step for a two-door. I don't really have to worry about kids getting in and out, but the big question is, how does it measure? This step does appear to sit much higher than any of the other steps, but let's see here. We've got right here, oh yeah, I mean 2 1/4 maybe? That sits really high up. So if you're really looking for a step that doesn't mess with clearance that much, some people prefer a step that's higher up and sits more flush with the Bronco's body line, and that would be the step you'd want to go with. The best part is this is a quick release just like the other step, so if you go off-road you can take that off and really just put it in the trunk. That's why I'm going with these, because I can easily take them off even if I forget at the off-road park. I'm like, oh, I didn't take my steps off. Well, especially with my 4-door, you have these long steps. You don't really want that banging around in the cabin. So you can take these off, put them in the trunk. I really like the looks of them. Let me know in the comments which set of steps you prefer. Do you like the bolt-on steps? Do you like the quick release steps? Do you like the Raptor-style, or do you like the mini gallop style? And be sure to remember all of these steps and so much more, the rock rails and any other mod that you would ever want for your Bronco, you can find on my website at BuckleUpOffroad.com. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Until next time, guys, buckle up, Buttercup.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
It is really easy to put on and off, which is why I love these steps. There's a little gouge in it.
That's okay.
That's okay, it's what it's for.